And Stella came out of the mouth, running for the mid-brake. 22-foot Hellcat, forward control with two 154 strokes on the back. Charter operation here in St Lucia Estuary. Happy hunting, enjoy the day. Five-star on the launch pad. Okay, let's do a lay of the land while Five-star is getting ready. We're launching here at St Lucia Estuary mouth, just north of the mouth. And there's a little bit of a sandbank floating the boats into the channel. And then there's a deep channel in front of us, but you still have to cross the sandbar in that white water over there. But it's quite deep at the moment. The tide is, I don't know if it's going out or coming in. Maverick, the next one on the launch pad. People want me to make a comment. I say that the concession list is out and Maverick and Stella doesn't, and Asterisk don't appear on the concession list. People want me to communicate to them what does it mean. I've got no idea. Anyway, that's a push from Wiseman. I mean, if Isimanglisa Wetland Park Authority goes through the tender process to give concessions, it must mean something to be on the list. How they're going to implement the rights of the people that's on the list, I don't know. We're all waiting to find out. Yours is floating nicely here in the channel. All I know, if Isimanglisa don't want to let you through the boom gate, they don't have to. And he's approaching the mid-break with caution. He's turning east, but there's one closing up on the sandbank for him. He's gonna run with it on his shoulder to the north. Is he gonna find a saddle through it? Yes. Woo! That's cutting it fine, Josh. Another big one, sidewise over it, beautifully done. Happy hunting, enjoy the day. Next boat on the launch pad, Mans with Asterix. And they're starting to edge closer to the water. Wiseman bring him on the speed. The two 104 stroke Suzuki's have started. Beautiful watercolors. Yo, wee! It's fugly here on the sandbank. Yo! And then just behind that one is another one standing up. Tide is taking Mans north quickly. What's Asdri gonna do with that foamy? He's gonna run and turn. Asterix is a 21-foot VCAT, very nose light. One-man operation here in St Lucia Estuary, Ecofrost Wetland Park, South Africa. Another one on his shoulder. Yo! Mon's got his job cut out here today. Is he gonna print us an Asterix? Almost. People that's new to the channel, if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, you won't know what does printing an Asterix mean. Go, Mons, go! Woo! Typical there on the back of the sandbar. They're standing up rapidly and they brake immediately, and Mons is turning around and he's facing north again. And Mons is facing east, and it looks like if it's clear in front of him and is making a run for it. He's got the two 100s on the power, the boat's on the plane. And it closes up and he's over it, and there's another one waiting for him just behind that one, but he's out of the brake zone, so it's going to be a walk in the park. Yo, Mons, happy hunting. And there's Aqua Joy getting ready to be pushed. Wave dancer arriving. I can't see, it's a small boat that I didn't see being offloaded. Come on, Wiseman, edge him closer. That's Enalo. I thought Enalo was salt. Mense maar is koud hier op die strand, hoor. Enalo is getting ready to be pushed. Wiseman is biding his time to wait for the right sets to wash through. People don't count the sets. The surfers will tell you not to count the sets. So don't do it. It's wrong. But if you do and you get into the rhythm, you know exactly how long gap you're going to get when you get in front there. If you don't know when it's a gap and how long it is. And Wiseman is running with Enalo. He's going to try and get him in deep, and he leaves him shallow. Enalo has to push forward with the motor trimmed high. And Enalo's in the power. Running for the mid-brake, which is not existing at the moment. He's got his timing perfectly there. Fantastically done. Absolutely fabulous. Happy hunting, enjoy the day. Wave dancer, the next one being pushed. A nice heavy boat. Yeah, crossing his T's and dotting his I's. Free Spirit 1 moving in to be offloaded to 204 strokes. Suzuki started there on the back of a 930 Pardette XL Sport Game Fisher, not Sport Fisher, Game Fisher. And Wiseman is pushing Wave Dancer hard. Positive push. Wave dancer floating nicely into the channel. Leon using the motor sprint height to push deeper in. There's a huge tree floating. There's a huge tree floating. Mind Leon, there's a huge tree floating here on the side. And there's another one floating over there. Jeez, and they're all moving into the channel. Leon passed that one, I think he saw it, but he's running nice and deep. If he keeps that angle, he can move 45 to the north, keep the huge one on his shoulder, and then when the time is right, he can turn east and run through them, or a little bit southeast, maybe south. Look at that big pole in the water over there. It's a whole tree. Wave dancer getting on the power. He's pushing for the mid break. Is he gonna make it in time? He's staying a little bit 45 so that he can turn when it has to. He's got through a saddle. He's running 45 to the north again. He's turning a little bit east. He's keeping his momentum going. What a beautiful launch! Happy hunting, wave dancer. Enjoy the day. Aquajoy, the next one on the launch pad, being edged closer by Wiseman. Some ugliness happening here on the sandbank. The Wiseman is going to take his time to try and push them exactly at the right time so that they've got the best chance of having a flat right through the mid break on the other side of the sandbank. Again on the whale watching permit. If you book people on a whale watching and the boat hasn't got that W behind the number, the DTR number, you are as in much trouble as the skipper, the boat owner and the people on the vessel. The Marine and Coastal Management Act prohibited to people doing that. It's against the law. You can challenge the law if you want to, but ignorance of the law is no excuse. If you watch this video, you're not ignorant of the law anymore. I have advised you. It's committed. He has to put Aquajoy now into the water. Pushed Aquajoy off the sand, floating nicely. What is that? Is that two 150s at the back there? Yes, two 154 stroke Suzuki, so it's got the advantages of the counter-rotating props. Very stable platform and turning, accelerating. Yo, that's the splash over right over there. Huge one standing up on the sandbank. And it's breaking rapidly. Beautiful sunrise. Look at that sunrise that they're launching into. And Aquajoy has turned into the surf. He's now committed. He's running his 45 degrees to the north like we suggested. And it's closing up on his shoulder and he's got time to turn away from it. He's got the speed to get in front of it. Boat is nicely on the plane, positive motion there, running north. Big gap between the waves as I predicted to him. And he's turning into it. And it's up and over. Makes for nice footage. Scary shit, but makes for nice footage. Wow, and he has to turn in front of that big one. He's running back towards the beach again. He's nicely in between them. He can turn around and face them again. He's over that one. He's back in line. He's turning around again. There's some big shit happening there in front of him. It's the F206 Z-Craft. He's turning again. He's over it. There's another big one in front of him. He's turning around again. Coming back. He's waiting for them. That's a good decision to make right there. On the power over that one, he's got the boat to do it. He's turning around again. It's a little bit stuck in a bad situation there. I'm now getting nervous. Maybe he must make a run for the beach. He's going more north. That's a ugly one that he has to work through. He worked through it. It's another ugly one that he has to work through. He's worked past it. What a beautiful launch! Well done, Aqua Joy. Happy hunting. Enjoy the day. Free Spirit 1 being pushed. The husband placed him nice and deep. Watercolors is changing for the guys that wanted to come and fish. Walter turning north, keeping himself in the channel. You want to keep the boat 45 degrees north so you can turn away or around. You probably don't want to run too far north. Aqua Joy showed us it gets ugly there in front of Ingwe. That's going to be a splash over. Makes for nice videos. And Free Spirit 1 is lying nicely in the channel, waiting for the gap to open up. The gap has opened up. What is happening on the other side of the sandbank? It's closing up. It's not too big. Sets are washing through. It's going to take him a little bit of time to wait for these sets to wash through. Now look at that beautiful, beautiful sunrise. Wow. And he's coming around. He's coming back into the channel. I'm just trying to get the sunrise and the boats in one frame. 204 stroke Suzuki's on the back of a 830 Carry Cat. Makes for a perfect surf launching platform. If they abide their time, it would be a nice launch, but it's a very difficult launch today. The skipper's skills are tested. Every 15 minutes the conditions changes. And at this stage, from bad to worst, but the surf is not too big. They just are very much on top of each other. To 45 to the north, it opened up a nice gap. Walter saw that. He's bringing Free Spirit 2 on the speed. He's running a comfortable 50 kilometers an hour there, probably around about. Slowing down, getting through the mid-break, not bumping too much. Well done. That was a perfect launch. Happy well watching. Has put Free Spirit 2 830 Buttcat with 204 stroke Suzuki's on the back in a perfect position to be nicely placed in the channel. Guy is testing his motors there. Is he happy? He trimmed down. He's bringing the boat on the plane and he's roaring forward. He saw the gap, but it's closing on his shoulder. But the boat's big enough to bump that foamy. He's over it. What's happening behind the foamy? Is it going to close up quickly? No, he's turned into a gap. That's perfectly executed, Captain Kutsia. Happy hunting. Enjoy the day.